Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our special one-shot of Mage 20th anniversary. I will be your storyteller. My name is Will. Welcome to the channel. Today we have a very special cast lined up, and we have a very special show in that we are telling a Mage story set in 1943 in the middle of World War II behind enemy lines. And before we get into it, where we share the kind of collected session zero that everybody had and kind of ended up in the same place, I'd like to take a moment to introduce everyone and thank you all for being part of this. There's a disembodied voice in Mitwad, so let's start with you since nobody's going to have a face to the voice.
And I apologize for that.
No, please.
I am Mitwad. I usually play the affable psychotic known as Mr. Ezekiel White on Prince William by Night by the Dark Druid Studios on the Twitch channel Sylvanov. Sylvannov.
Yep.
If you wish to follow along.
Of course. Let me just hit up all of the channels that I'm currently allied with. Let's jump over to Kelly from Dork Tales.
Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Clark. I'm the host and forever DM over at Dork Tales on Twitch and YouTube and on podcast now recently. We're a channel that does a lot of this type of gaming and a lot of charity events and things like that. And we kind of cover the gamut from D&D to, of course, World of Darkness, Chronicles of Darkness, and a lot of indie games we're getting into. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you there. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Let's jump over to Ashley from Baby Lambs.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. I am one half of the Baby Lambs podcast. It's a podcast hosted by two 30-something-year-olds from South Florida who love nerdy things. We play D&D, we play Hunt to Killer, we play here on Twitch, and we're available wherever you listen to podcasts. I also play Vampire the Masquerade with Chewy every other Monday.
That's correct. Our Salem by Night campaign.
Salem by Night.
Yeah. Let's jump over to Nardi, who was A.M.D.A trained.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah.
My name is Nardi. I am an actor. Was artistic director of a regional theater company here in Miami that was around for over 10 years. Now I have changed career track and am a doctor. An eye doctor, to be precise.
So not like a real doctor.
Yeah, there it is.
There.
So, anyway, I've been playing role-playing games, specifically with Will, since, the early days of middle school, I think. So going on 20 years now.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited to be joining in and playing this game. It'll be a lot of fun.
Excellent. And then last but not least, the fantastic artist known as Isaac Ortega.
Hey, thank you for having me on here, True.
Yeah.
This is my first time playing Mage. Looking forward to it. Excited. An artist, like True says, graphic designer as well. And I play Flid on Star Wars Out of the Dark, so run by Chewy on Fridays.
There you go.
I was check that out and follow that.
I was hoping that you would plug Star Wars, but yes. So you can catch Isaac on Fridays for our Star Wars game. You can catch Ashley every other Monday for our Camarilla side of our story for Salem by Night. I have nobody from our L5R game because nobody wanted to play Mage. But I am excited nonetheless to have Kelly from Dork Tales and Mitwad from Sylvanov's channel and from the McStabber clan. So, everybody had a session zero as we jump right into it, where at the end of it, there was a sensation that was new to everyone. There was a expansion of horizons of thought processes and the sensation of being pulled from whatever life you knew and whatever job you were currently in, and all of you have appeared in this dark room that has this balcony above you where you heard a gunshot, where you heard a body fall, and there's just the thought of, where are you currently? Those of you with correspondence, which I believe is Grace and Horace, you intrinsically know that you've moved locations. Excuse me. You are in a castle dungeon, it seems like. The sounds of people moving about can softly echo down to you from above. The floor feels like there's a viscous liquid coating it. Was that a body that just fell? Are they even still alive? And who among you is going to make the first move? Some of you know you're not where you were, and the only question is how. And then some of you also have a voice in your head now, and some of you have just images and emotions that are being projected from somewhere else, from some time else. This is what it's like to have an avatar. This is what it's like to be awakened here in the world of darkness. And amongst the questions of where and how and who, it's is this a dream for you? Are these just visions? And then you have this idea of knowing deep down inside that this is not any of that. The air is cold, you can feel it. There is a temperature shift here from wherever you were. The feeling of dread kind of sits in the pit of your stomach. And all you remember is the gunshots. The 2 quick gunshots. The very broken English of a German yelling out, "You fool, you have input the wrong coordinates and I have suffered you for the last time." But where is that body? And was that a door that you saw in the corner of your eye in the periphery after the muzzle flashes of the gun went off? Or is that just you hoping that there is a door in the darkness? And again, the question comes up, which one of you is going to make the first move? And then there's a cough from beneath you on the floor. He's still alive. That body is still alive. And then you just hear, "A little help, please." Please, a little help. What would you like to do?
Take a nice long look at everybody else in this room.
Alright, if all of you could describe your characters to each other, and we will start in the same order we started our introductions. So Mitwad, please introduce us to Horace Russo.
Mr. Horace Russo stands at your average height of around 6 foot at a maximum 5'9", 5'10" at a minimum. He has dark black hair, really unassuming looks. He is young, youthful, handsome, almost classically so. His blue eyes kind of dart around as he looks to everybody in the group, and then below him to the slowly dying gentleman. His slight sparse mustache, black as his hair, kind of curls up as he examines the corpse, wearing his nicest baker's outfit of a short shirt, linen, and slacks with dark black shoes.
Kelly, introduce us to Mikhail Volkov, please.
Mikhail is a big man. Somehow he managed to grow pretty big in spite of having meager meals in his formative years. He's probably about 6'2", bordering on 6'3", and he's a fairly stock standard Russian-looking man with brown hair that's on the lighter side, going a little bit gray at the temples. Brown eyes, not particularly warm. It looks like he's starting to develop frown lines around his mouth, and also a little bit of crow's feet that kind of suggests that his mouth has two settings. Grin and frown, and nothing in between. He's dirty. He smells like mud. Underneath that layer of mud, you might be able to detect what used to be a fairly pristine uniform of the Red Army. Now it looks like he's been crawling through the mud or living in the brush for 2-3 weeks. He probably smells like it too. Beyond that, he also is a bit disheveled and has not shaved in at least 2 weeks, if not 3.
Okay. Ashley, could you please introduce us to Zofia Kolik?
Zofia is in her early 40s, more or less. She's about 5'8" in stature, which is pretty short considering her. You'll come to learn that she is from Poland. She has very dark hair that she has held up right now in a ponytail of sorts. It's a bit disheveled. You could tell that, she has been impacted by the shock of this new scenario, and perhaps from some earlier moments before she entered this new place. She has vaguely green, almost sort of hazily brown eyes that tend to appear to change in color depending on her mood, or maybe depending on the light in the room. She's wearing some unpresuming trousers, like a dark khaki, with some very sensible style shoes. She's not particularly fashionable. She is clean, but she appears to be a woman who prefers comfort over fashion. So she's wearing perhaps a cardigan similar to what I'm wearing, probably a little lighter in tone, with like a pale yellow sort of blouse underneath.
Okay. All right. Nardi, could you introduce us to Collin McKenzie, please?
Sure. Collin is a Dubliner. He's about of average height, 6 feet tall, give or take, with green eyes. He's lanky, so
he's wiry.
He's wiry, right. He's a good Catholic boy. Very young around the edges. He's got a lot of growing up to do, but he, is very dedicated to what he does, and he is dressed in full, just British Air Force uniform with like a bomber jacket. It looks almost like he was in the middle of a bombing run. Aviator glasses and all.
Okay.
He is somewhat catatonic, just standing still in the corner, taking it all in. He hasn't moved a muscle. If you could see, you would see that he wouldn't be moving.
And Ike, could you please introduce us to Grace Gonzalez?
Grace, she is about 5'4", around 135 pounds, average around there. Shoulder length, dark hair, light brown eyes. She's toned, but slim. She's slim toned. She's not stocky or anything. She's pretty toned. She's wearing her aviator goggles as well. Pilot's uniform for the. You see that she's got the wasp badges on her bomber's jacket and everything. Her face is smudged with grease, and her hands. She's kind of dirty in the face. Her hands are dirty. She's pretty rough. She's a rough girl.
Okay. So Sophia, as the darkness settles around you, you start to get these. It's painful at first, so because it's new to you, and you get these images of wolves kind of hunting at night. You get these images of the Serengeti and just these primal alpha creatures that have been adjusted to hunting at night. And as that vision subsides, the darkness starts to fade away, and everyone is visibly clear to you. With Grace, there's a voice. It is familiar, but at the same time very distant, and it is reminiscent of the kind of Aztec and Mayan, very kind of proud, like, "Let me help you, little sister." And there is a moment where the darkness just vanishes. You also have glimpses. They're fleeting. They're not as painful. The avatar within you is kind of buffeted them away as far as being painful towards you. But you can almost see glimpses of what it was to see these conquistadors landing on your home shores, and the fires in the evening, and the pyramids behind you. And again, you also start to see that everybody kind of starts to become very vividly clear to you. And you both can see that it is a man on the floor. The liquid itself is a mixture of oil and what looks to be blood, sweat, and just what you hope is not human excrement. The body is still breathing. The belly is moving up and down. It is shallow. And you can see that the arms are starting to kind of peel themselves off of the floor. The legs are slowly kind of being pulled in, almost like what it feels like to wake up from a really, really comfortable night in. And then there's just a groan again, and the voice. "Please, if someone could help, I would appreciate it."
Sophia rubs her eyes and sort of her temples, and does a really long once over this man and asks, Are you holding any weapons?"
No, I have no weapons, Fräulein.
There you have.
And you see him kind of motion to his core. The rest of you hear this one female voice in the darkness. Grace, you hear it, but you also see her kind of standing there. There's a moment where the two of you kind of see each other in the darkness, and you both have that recognition, that moment where almost like when a light is flashed in front of a cat or another nocturnal animal, and you can see the reflection of the pupils. And there's an instant kind of understanding that both of you can see in this darkness.
A doctor?
Chemist.
Chemist?
If this chemist is like nurse,
No. But we have to do something.
Is anybody a doctor here?
No, but where is he hurt?
You see him holding up his hand. You have enough medicine, Sophia, that you know that if he moves, he'll aggravate the 2 wounds. It looks like there's one in the left portion of his body, just in the southern hemisphere of his ribs. And the second shot looks like, or the first shot, depending on how you look at it, looks like it was a gut shot right to his kidney. So if you want, you can make an intelligence investigation roll to kick us off. That would be 4 dice, 4 d10s. Excuse me. With Mage 20th edition, for those of you that haven't played, or those of you that haven't played it in a while, we use d10s. Standard difficulty is difficulty 6, so anything 6 or higher on the dice is a success. And you create a pool based off of a attribute and an ability to roll that many dice. So unless I tell you a different difficulty number, always assume that the difficulty is 6. Actually, it shouldn't be difficult for you, since we play Vampire together. You're used to that difficulty kind of being the norm.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mikhail can't see because he doesn't have forces. Because otherwise he would be able to tell which order the gunshots were fired in.
okay.
Okay. I rolled a 7, a 6, a 10, and a 5.
Okay, so 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can tell that the stomach shot was first. It looks like, given the sound that you heard, it is very reminiscent of a Luger. So there was the kickback, the very small kickback that kind of helped the gunshots kind of travel upwards. It looks, though, like there was some kind of interference, because the original shot is right below the heart. And given the trajectory, it should have just gone straight through a killing shot, but it kind of punctured the lung instead. So you're assuming something must have happened here.
Where is he hit?
It looks like he's hit right in the guts. It looks like it might have wiggled through to this. We cannot move him. It is probably in his lung, and it is probably filling with blood. We need to do something now.
He's in
That
bed.
is not higher.
I take off my cardigan,
Mhm.
and I start to sort of wad it together and try very carefully, and I say, please don't move. And I try to kind of motion for it to press near where the wound might be,
Okay.
to kind of stop the blood a little bit. And I look at the others.
All right.
He's in bad shape.
Collin, Mikhail, and you kind of start to push past the grogginess of being translocated. Since you don't have correspondence, it is a very jarring situation for you. But everybody now hears that there's movement through the liquid. And it's moving closer to some of you. It's moving further away from others.
I'd like to squat down and see if I can discern what this stuff is.
Okay.
Like,
You have
so either just,
you have matter.
Sorry, I do have matter. Yeah.
So it is going to be either you can choose to do it the mundane way, which is an intelligence and investigation check, or you could roll your arete.
I'll roll my arete. I'll use the medium of there, like kind of dip my fingers in it and just briefly like flick my tongue on it to see what it is, and hope that it's not something that's going to be in my mouth for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and roll that.
As you bend down and your fingers touch the liquid, there's an electricity that kind of courses through your body, and you hear just what you can imagine to be some mad scientist's voice in your head. I would help you with this, cousin. It should not be difficult to understand what this is.
Yeah? Who is this?
What'd you
I
get
think I
on
can
your
taste it my...
arete?
I got a 1 and a 9.
Okay, so it's a little rough. There's no success.
Well, it tastes like shit.
Yeah, yeah. You can
But
taste.
not literal.
Yeah, you can taste the oil. You can taste the blood. That's a familiar taste to you. And there's something else there that you've never encountered before.
Do you really
It's
do
not-
just that? You just stick your fingers in your mouth after licking the floor?
Yeah, I'd like to know if what we are in is going to light us on fire. Maybe they drop in a match and poof, no more us. You know, it's not how I'd like to end my day, but I'd like to know in advance, yes.
Alright.
And then you hear the voice.
You want taste?
Nah, I'm after the face you made, I'm okay.
Oh,
I would
you can see my face?
I would not recommend
I can.
lighting a cigarette.
I'll take off one of my suspenders and hand it to the shorter woman. Use a tourniquet, please.
You can just
in England.
you see this baker's man pull off a suspender and kind of hold it out into the empty space near you, but not directly at you, as he says this to you, Sophia. It's clear that he can't see you.
Thank you. And I just sort of reach for it.
Okay, you take it.
I take it and I examine it and I start to create some sort of a tourniquet. Can I look at whatever this stuff is around us and try to determine what it might be without putting my fingers in my mouth?
Without
Can
putting
I
your
like
fingers in
smell
it?
it?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Ike, you don't have matter, so it's going to be just an intelligence and investigation roll for you. Sophia does have matter.
I don't have matter.
No, what is the M that I have as a note then? What did I do here?
Mind?
That'd be in mind.
I have mind.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so yeah, so it's gonna be the same thing. Intelligence investigation. I should really make a note of that. There's 2 M's in this.
I got
One doesn't matter.
These. Oh,
Nice, what you
that's how you don't get invited back.
Oh. If a gaming stream without puns is not a gaming stream.
No, trust me. I've encountered DMs that hate puns, and it makes me an instantly sad bear, because I was running a druid at one point, and we were in front of like some gladiatorial arena, and I was like, I hope you all don't mind if I become a little unbearable for a little second, and then I transform into a brown bear, and my DM was like, get the fuck out. You automatically lose.
I'll take a intelligence and investigation on this as well to kind of look.
Okay, sure.
Untrained does count, right? No ducks within the number.
Yeah, untrained just means that your difficulty goes up by 1.
Okay, it's a +1 difficulty then.
Yeah, so it'd be 7 for you.
I got 4, 10, 6.
Okay, so 2 successes. What did Sophia get?
Double 8.
I got a
2.
I got a 10, an 8, a 2, and a 5.
Okay, so all 3 of you got 2 successes. So each one of you kind of discerns the liquid that they're most accustomed to kind of dealing with. So you obviously kind of figure out the blood. Ike, you realize that it is a kind of a motor oil, an oil of some kind. And Ash, you realize that the third liquid is a binding agent. There is a water-soluble thing that is binding the two together. This is unheard of.
All right, so Collin starts to come to a little bit.
Okay.
You hear him mumbling a little bit to himself, and if you pay attention, you'll notice that he's saying a Hail Mary to himself.
Oh.
And when he's done, he just kind of exclaims loudly, "All right, I'll play along." And he bends over, starts kind of shuffling over to where he hears the wounded man and the lady who's trying to help.
All right, let's have you roll a perception and alertness. Let's see if you can find your way safely over there.
All right. 2 successes.
Okay. It is not terrible. It is a little bit slippery. It's not something you're not used to being in the RAF. Rainy days are a thing. And you kind of slowly tap your way over, letting the point of your foot kind of lead you, and then you come in contact with something, which must be the body. And as you lean down, you can hear the strained breathing. You can hear the kind of coughing, the wheezing.
All right, I don't have a lot of training in this, but they did do this in basic, so I kind of feel around and look for the man's carotid artery. I want to see if he's got a strong pulse or not.
Okay. It's going to be a dexterity and medicine.
Well, what if I don't have medicine?
Oh, then
It's untrained.
it's just difficult. It's just one more to difficulty. So it's just difficulty 7 for you, my boy.
All right. I also have life. I don't know if that matters.
Oh, well, if you wanted to try to reach out, you could roll your arete instead.
Well, I don't know that I want to, but it may just happen.
Okay. Those of you with Prime have also felt that any magical effects have kicked off.
So arete is, I have 2, so I'd roll 2 die for 6.
2 dice, difficulty 6, yes.
As opposed to 3 for a 7, I think that sounds better. I'll do that.
Okay, sure. It's your life, boy.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So, Grace and Sophia, you also feel that there's been a second ping now of magical influence. The threads are being pulled, as it were. This one is a lot closer to you, though. This one's like right on top of you, Sophia. The man is dying. His pulse is getting weaker. And sure enough, his lung is filling with blood. You give him maybe a couple of minutes at most.
My friend, I think you should make peace. And then I lean over to the girl who's helping him out, and I say, this man doesn't have long for this world. I don't know how I know this, but his lungs are filling with fluid, and I'd give him a couple of minutes at the most.
Do you have
If we can stop the bleeding, we might be able to extend that, but without any proper medical care, the man's dead.
As you start to say that you don't know how you know, you're bombarded with visions, soft visions. They're not painful. Your avatar is strong enough to kind of buffet them. But you see good Catholic and Christian missionaries from the island. You can see them doing the Lord's work. And you can just see this one kind of woman look up from the people that she's helping, and she kind of smiles and nods at you, and she's just like, "Don't worry, boy. I'll teach you what you need to know. You have a strong future ahead of you. I'm proud." and then you kind of snap back. But you could have sworn that you were. It looked like Gilkenny, like you've seen those hills. You've been on those hills. You've experienced that windswept kind of panorama, and then you're back in the darkness.
I know what just happened. I just glimpsed paradise.
Yeah.
Are you saying this out loud or?
Oh, I say that out loud, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What just happened?
What's that, sir?
Just, ma'am. That would be ma'am to you.
Oh, ma'am.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's dark in here. I couldn't tell from your voice.
What is that supposed to mean?
And you can hear it.
I am so sorry, ma'am.
I'm just gonna let's just move on. What do you mean? You know what's going on?
Oh well, isn't it obvious, my good lady? We're all dead, and this is purgatory.
If we are all
Yo.
dead, how is he here? Dying.
We're obviously being tested, young.
I don't know. Purgatory. There is a dying Nazi here. That seems like heaven to me.
I was.
You.
I was.
We'll get along just fine, yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear him coughing, and he's just like, I admit, I believed in this Führer and his vision. I've seen the truth. The doctor, the professor, he has to be stopped. He's
There are more Nazis where we are right now.
yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You are Mühldorf. The professor, he's trying to make the Brockman. He has to be stopped. You have to stop him. Please. And you can feel Collin, his hand kind of come up, and it is real. It is solid. It is losing its warmth, but he finds your collarbone, and he kind of puts his hand almost like he's trying to plead his case, but he knows it's a losing one. And you can feel that there's a liquid on it, and it's immediately that you find out that it's blood. Like, you know it's his blood. You know that he smeared the inside of your neck, the collar of your jacket, and then slowly it starts to kind of slide down your torso, until it comes down with a splash, very light and shallow splash against the liquid.
Is there something I could do with entropy?
Oh. I mean, you could accelerate the rate of decay.
Is there a way I could reverse the decay?
That, unfortunately, is not under entropy.
That's under life, isn't it?
That would be life, because you're trying to mend a pattern.
In that case, Horace will bend down to the dying gentleman. His soft, almost boyish tone. I don't know who you are, my fine fellow, but in whatever God you believe, he shall be seeing you soon, my child, and he will attempt to facilitate the decay a little faster to help him in his suffering.
Alright, go ahead and roll your arete. And again,
Yes, sir.
Ashley and Ike, you will feel, and Nardi, you have Prime.
Yes.
You'll feel now. There's a ping. There's tertiary ping for Ashley and Ike. This is a secondary. No, this will also be a tertiary.
Okay.
For Collin, no,
Two
Collin has
successes.
felt the other 4 actually. 2 successes. Yeah. There's a moment where he coughs, and then you hear him struggle to breathe for a moment, and then there's just a very almost imperceptible sigh as you can feel. You stretch out. There's images in your mind of numbers, of odds, of just cards being flipped, and then there's the image of you kind of pulling on more reservoirs on all the veins, on all the arteries that he has to just kind of pump into the lung and into the other lung, and you know that you've ended this man's life, but you've probably saved him from a very prolonged death.
I'll slowly close his eyes and start praying. In nome di Patri, et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
So yeah, so Collin and Sophia, you feel this kind of presence move between the two of you, and then there's this quiet prayer.
Well, that's one less of them. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so how do we get out of the box?
I'm with you on that.
It's good. I don't know who you are or what you look like, but hey, if you're with me, hey, we're friends now, buddy.
Take it one step at a time first. Let's just get out of here. Say we're friends.
Yeah. Ike and Ashley, you can see that there is a door. There's a metallic door that looks to have been replaced. That has replaced whatever old wooden kind of door used to exist here in this, and you can see now that you're definitely in what must be some basement or dungeon of some castle. The walls are stone, the floor is stone, the ceiling is stone. The balcony exists almost like a theatrical addition. Excuse me. Like, this has to have belonged to some cruel designer. It's about 15 feet up to the lower level of the balcony. The railings are metallic. It looks like there's spikes and kind of serrated edges that are meant to keep people from climbing up and over. And you also notice that there's a large archway that has bars. And after a moment, it is Ike that has forces too. Ike, you notice that something begins to stir inside that exterior room.
Stir how?
It's almost like a bear. Like there's some kind of large creature that is starting to awaken.
Like on the other side of the door?
Like on the other side of the bars.
Of the bars.
Yeah. The bars would be to what would be, to orient yourselves, the bars would be to the west. The door out would be to the east. So they're opposite each other.
We need to get out of here soon and quick.
Well, there
What-
appears to be a door.
Where?
It appears to be on my right. I
Cardinal
I-
directions.
the The east.
How do you know cardinal directions? We can't see stars.
Yeah, actually, Ike and Mitt, since you have correspondence, you can tell where the cardinal directions are. So you both know that the door that she's pointing to is north of you, and that the bars are to the south.
So
The balcony's to the
okay.
west.
The door's north of me. It'd be
With your
north
compass up your ass?
of everybody else.
No,
I
everybody
like you, Russian man.
everybody's oriented differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The door's
Can
north
I
of me.
feel who is closest to me using correspondence?
Yes, yes. I mean, you could also reach out
yeah.
mundanely and know that there's a woman and there's a man. You know that the Irishman
Oh, hey.
is to your left and that the chemist woman is to your right.
Okay. He'll take out both of his hands, insert them left and right. My hand is reaching out to two of you. Please grasp on.
For crying out loud! And I grab his arm, and I guide him to the door.
Okay.
Yep.
So a train is created. Somebody reaches out, and everybody manages to kind of touch each other in appropriate manners. Even though it is 1943 and PC culture hasn't been invented yet. But consent is still a thing.
Now's not the time to be copping a feel.
None of that.
I agree with Patty.
And sure enough, you get to the door, and it is unlocked. And as you open it, for the first time, you see a sconce with a gas lamp. And the yellow, very light orange light kind of shines over some of you. And for the first time, you can see what you each look like.
Okay.
Not what I expected from you guys.
3 men and 2 women, stuck somewhere in the middle of Germany, with a dead German scientist in the room behind you. And then you hear and from behind the bars you can see Ashley and Ike, since you still kind of have your forces activated because of your avatars. You can see what looks to be this 7 foot tall, about 5 foot wide humanoid thing kind of stand up behind the bars, and it just reaches out like a prisoner.
It's me else.
I just say, "Oh no," and then and I take like as many steps back as I can. I don't know where I'm walking back into.
Yeah, you walk out into the hallway, almost bumping into the sconce with the gas lamp, and so the light kind of shifts. The rays go off in different directions, and some of you catch the bounce from the bars. Some of you catch the bounce from the fingers reaching out like some poor, misbegotten, unwanted child. Just thick, kind of sausage-like fingers reaching out, and just the desire for something. And it just kind of like it turns upward as some of the light shines over it, and you kind of see it squeezing inward like, give me. And just again, and then you hear the loud thump against the bars.
Without hesitation, I just closed the door that we came from. Separate our stuff. Yeah, I'm like, We know.
I'd like to read this thing's thoughts.
That's a lot of nope. Okay.
I think that thing was trying to cry out for something.
You have correspondence and a mind, so you're lucky that you don't need line of sight.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll your arete.
Okay.
You're using
Okay.
both your spheres. Nothing's higher than 2, though, so it's just going to be difficulty 6.
Double successes.
Nice. Excuse me. There is just primal thought processes. It looks like there was a childhood that's buried deep in there. It looks like there was a loving family. You can see Nazis coming into the boy, like a boy's house, and then there's a dispute. Excuse me. The family argues, and then there's 2 flashes of light, like lightning, just in the window, and then you just feel the boy's fear. You feel almost like you're living it. It's become very hard for you to distinguish which is your life and which is his, as you kind of prod deeper and deeper, and you start to feel everything regress. There's just primal needs of food, warmth, and relief. And then there's a moment where you see every one of these bodies kind of pop into existence in front of you in the darkness. And you don't know how you can see in the dark, but you can. You can see one person vomits, then a second, there's a scream, there's the gunshots, there's the muffled voice, and then there's just the impression of father, of life giver, of patron, of saint, of not wanting to upset them. And you kind of feel this mind shrink down, and then you can hear the whole interaction play out again in your own mind as you kind of see it from his. And then there's the agitation. There's a what if they can help me sensation. What if they can free me? And then there's an image, and then fear, and then you can feel yourself just shoot to anger, and that's where you kind of break away. But you saw a thin, older German man, kind of tan, a Van Dyke kind of goatee, just this very shock white hair that comes to 3 points, almost like a trident on this man's head, like a widow's peak. Always kept back, always very orderly, very, very well kept. And there is a meticulous look to him. There's nothing out of place. The silhouette is always crisp and clean. There is the ideals of order. He represents them. He is them. And
Does it feel like the gentleman just passed in the
No,
room before?
not at all.
Lads, ladies, I don't know what this gobbledygook is, but it's it, and he kind of gestures heavily toward the door. that is a child.
That is a big child.
Is it a big thing? Is it a
Hey,
big
the
thing?
big.
Yeah.
Is it a child?
Yeah.
This is a child.
Da.
I don't want to see the mother.
It. You hear the anger bring into his voice. Those monsters! Those Nazis experimented on him. They will pay. As
No,
you
that-
just see him try to relax.
That
What
is.
was that?
Yeah.
That
Can I?
is.
Sorry.
No, it is not child. It is full-grown man. It cannot be child. They cannot do things like that. It's not magic.
Right, I kind of agree with him. I didn't look like a child to me. Trust me. I've got 7 brothers and sisters. I know what a child looks like.
Hey,
The Nazis have gone too far. And this way too far if they did this.
Well,
Am
I
I
agree
able
with
that's
the
a way to find out, though. Colin goes ahead and grabs the gas lamp. Is it like something I can grab and take with
Oh
me?
yeah. It's hanging off of a sconce. What did you want to say, Ashley?
Am I able to see into the cell that this humanoid is residing?
If you open the door, yes, you have enough
Grace,
dark
Grace, close
vision.
the door.
Oh yeah. You close
Yeah,
the door.
Grace
Okay,
closed,
never
yes.
mind.
Safety
Well,
first.
I go ahead and grab the gas light, and I'll go back and open the door,
Okay.
and take a peek inside. It's a gentlemen and ladies. There's a simple way to put this to rest. Let's go take a look.
And sure enough, as the door opens, again, you now can hear the thudding. You can hear again now the and as the gas lamp comes in, it goes quiet.
Oh.
And you can just hear almost like he's entranced. It's entranced by the light.
By the-
And with the light, as you step into the room, you can see the kind of rainbow pattern reflected on the floor. It's a stark contrast to the very simple grays that you see on the walls. And you can see as you step towards the bars that he's bent some of them. His pounding has created a kind of catcher's mitt of a concave bowing out of these bars, and he is monstrous. It is 7 feet tall. Like I said, it is about 4.5 to 5 feet wide. It looks like this was somebody with a pituitary disease. Like this is an abnormal measurements of a human body. The head excuse me, looks much more Neanderthal. It has a pronounced kind of brow. The jaw is slack and lowered, but the eyes are innocent, and you can tell that whatever Horace has discovered is true. There's a childlike kind of wonder as you bring the light into the room. His feet are massive, almost, comical. There's hair all over the tops of them. There's this massive, what could be considered an adult body, just hair on the legs, hair on the arms, hair on its back, and just this kind of very bear-like mismatched color on its chest. And you can just see him reaching out towards the light with his right hand.
Can I take a peek around like the cell walls and stuff that he is residing in to see if there's any other sort of like scratches or even holes or gunshots or anything around in there?
Sure. Since you have your dark vision up, go ahead and just roll a perception and investigation for me, or perception and alertness, whichever you'd like.
I'm gonna go with, what did you say? What was the other option? Perception and what? Intelligence?
No, perception and investigation, or perception and alertness.
Oh, invest. Oh, what? They're both the same.
Okay.
I got a 10, a 5, a 6. I got 2 10s. I got 3 successes.
Okay. You can see that there are manacles. There are other kind of implementations to keep people in place. This looks like it was an extension of some kind of dungeon. And looking in, you can see that all of the implements that are in there to keep people in look like they were removed from this room, this larger room with the balcony. This looks like this was a room meant to not control, but to let loose. Like this almost, it doesn't have the dimensions of a gladiatorial arena, but it does feel like it. Inside the cell, you see what looks to be a set of manacles that this thing might have grown out of, because it looks like they just won't close anymore. Like they've been bent in odd angles. Excuse me.
It looks like so it looks like he was like raised for battle, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like if you step close enough with the light, that he starts to stretch out towards it, you can see that his skin looks much more chitinous. Like there's a layer of thickness to it that isn't human.
That dead German is in this room, right?
Yeah, he sure is.
What do you see?
I see
Bella.
manticles. I see that this baby was designed to destroy. For sport, perhaps. It's very dark in that he's injured. I feel overwhelming sadness for this.
You see his hand retract as you say all of this, almost like he understands you. And you see him just and you see him step to the furthest corner of the room.
Oh.
In his most gentle, soft tone. It's okay. Friend. You know friend? Yes? He kind of bobs his head up and down in a yes manner.
What were you gonna say, Kelly?
Look, there are probably going to be many Nazi around here soon. He is very loud. If he is child, he's going to make noise. They are going to come down and they're going to kill us. So if you can be big boy and be quiet, eh? Listen to good man here. Point at Horace. Were you the one that was talking to him,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Point. I'll just kind of gesture in the direction of Horace. If you listen, be good boy.
It nods after a moment.
I'll move a bit closer to the Irishman. Kind of whisper toward him. Are we sure we should take him? He might be a good distraction, yes, but he is suffering. And I know a good man like you doesn't want to see the suffer. What would you like to do, Mr. Irishman? And you can make out that his accent is Italian.
I see what's happening here. This is another test.
Mm.
Well,
It's the trolley incident all over again.
yeah.
What happened to trolley?
I believe it's
That we got here?
only God that has the right to decide whether this child lives or dies. I mean, if he's an innocent, who am I to say whether he's suffering or not?
Nardi, do you
I
have
think we
do you have a sidearm as part of your pilot's gear?
Well, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
World War II, you know,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
still the possibility you could get shot down behind enemy lines. You'd have
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Your hands
Oh, you
As-
can have a knife.
as your hands kind of come to your waist as you're contemplating this whole moral dilemma set in front of you, you
Mhm.
can feel the sidearm. So it is within your power to kind of do this. And then all of you kind of notice that whatever you had on you when you were pulled, you have access to. You do have on your person.
Okay, well... Look, I will go with group on this one, but if you want to let him out, I can probably break open cage. Does not look too strong.
What?
Whatever we're
Let's
gonna
say
do,
you
we better do
lost.
it fast.
I mean, if he's an innocent, then I can't just end his life. I've got to do what I can.
Hey. Big man, would you like some help with those bars?
Oh yeah, of course I would. Yeah.
And you hear from above you, from the balcony, "Yeah, doctor! Look at this!" And you can see that there is a kind of scrawny, young,
Great.
kind of... the sides of his heads are shaved. He has this long kind of mop of black hair otherwise. And he's just like really excited that there are people who shouldn't be involved in this room.
Hmm.
And
Cool.
Big man,
Yeah.
big man, if we do now, yes.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Whatever you're gonna do,
Is-
do it now.
Okay, I'm gonna head up to the bars. And how is it sealed? Are the bars? Is there like a gate in front of it? You said, or some way that it's padlocked, or?
there is no discernible door excuse me, to the cell. It looks like the cask of a Montadillo, like he was thrown into this room and to be forgotten.
Is it
Okay.
just standard jail cell door, or just some bars that are separating him from us?
Yeah, there's bars that look to be about 2 to 3 inches apart from each other. The bars themselves are about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. Simple iron.
Okay. All right. You push. I push. And gonna grab a set of bars, put my feet on the others, and just start like, basically doing a clean and press, as much as I can, kind of just using the entire body leverage to do this.
Does Mikhail even lift, bro?
Mikhail does he does, yeah, a little bit. He cheats with matter though, is what he does.
Yeah, of course. So you instinctively you hear, "It is time, brother. Let us go." And you can feel the avatar kind of pulse through you, your muscles. You can sense the cheat in you. Would you like to use Arete?
I would, and a willpower if that's okay,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm not gonna fail this roll again. Damn it!
Remember that you can use your willpower after the roll, and
Oh, can you now?
before
Okay.
before I
Yes.
tell you whether you succeed or not.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Do 10s explode?
On Arete?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I need to spend a willpower or else I just botched.
Well, remember, you don't botch if you have successes.
Yeah, no, you
Is
can't.
that way? Okay.
Your 10
Yeah.
doesn't explode into a botch. That would be bad.
Beautiful. Okay, then I would like to spend a willpower because I got a 1, a 10, and then a 1 from the explode.
Oh no!
I am changing these dice.
So you botches don't stack overboard. They don't overflow otherwise.
That's a house rule I used to use, so it still confuses me. So
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's in the book. It says that, you know, unless you have no successes and you roll a 1, then it's a botch.
Damn it, Steve Perry, stop looking at the dice.
So I like the fact that for 20th edition they kind of went and were like, hey, we know how brutal botching can be, so here's a new kind of look at it.
Okay, so the ones don't negate a success.
They do. They still negate, but they don't overflow. So like if you have 2 successes and 3 1s, you don't botch because you have
it's
more
not a
ones.
botch.
You don't.
You just fail.
You just fail. You have to get no successes and then have botches
And a one
to actually botch the roll.
Oh, that's
So,
much
yeah.
better.
Yeah, especially because
So-
A.M.D.A was really destructive if you botched.
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So you
Always.
get 4, 4, 4, 1. You'd botch.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna spend a willpower to make the magic happen.
yeah. So sure enough,
Yeah. Get off the fucking
The-
bars.
let's have Horace, since he doesn't have matter, he's gonna have to just push with actual strength and
he's gonna have
athletics.
to- Strength athletics?
Yes, please.
Oh, I love you.
And because Kelly's working the bars with his A.M.D.A, I will lower your difficulty to 5, since we can say that he's softening the metal.
Absolutely.
I softened it up for you. like a pickle jar, really. You know.
I did. I did all work.
Thanks for getting the bars for me, honey. I helped.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
God damn it.
and a 10. 2 successes and a 10.
Okay. So between the two of you, and you don't know what it is, but everybody that has Prime does feel the threads of reality being pulled. You can feel that there's something connecting all of you. And those of you with Prime feel it much more intrinsically. Like all of you weren't chosen at random, it seems. Like some hand of fate has brought all of you together. Those of you with entropy can kind of start to play with that idea once you're told. But as the bars bend and push out of the way, you create this kind of ovular hole that looks like maybe he could squeeze through it if he pushes himself. But then again, he also looks like he could pull them much further apart if he wanted to.
Pull it.
Wow.
Well,
He'll extend a hand. Come, little brother. Come with us.
And you hear from above you, Val, look at this. It seems Professor Erston has given me a gift. Delicious. And you, Mitt, since you actually looked into this creature's mind, you see that this is the symbol of order that he fears, that he respects, that he wants to earn his love from.
I will look to the Russian next to me. You cover the move, yes?
Oh, don't worry. I'll give this son of a bitch a gift. I'm gonna draw my pistol.
Yeah, boy.
If I can shoot a German, I will.
Shoot a German.
If I can shoot a German, I will. That is Misha's, like, he has that tattooed on his thigh.
If I could
No,
just,
inglorious bastards.
yeah, in German, in Russian too, just like with the backwards B and everything, just like Germans.
Yeah.
Germans to kill. So yeah.
Germans to kill.
By the
homies to
way,
chill.
if he misses, I'm right behind him.
Oh, now the question I have for you, Kelly, is: do you think that you would have shot from the hip, or do you actually want to like pull your gun and train it on him? Because that'll be a difference between wits and firearms, and dexterity firearms.
They are the same for me. So I think it'd be just a character thing of just turning and he's gonna do a point and shoot. He's not gonna cowboy it.
Okay.
I have gift too. Here.
I'll help our little friend start touring the women and the Irishman.
Yeah, you see that it has started to kind of thump closer, and as it's moving, it does appear to be frightened.
It's okay. We are family. Yes.
Family. It just says to you.
Yes. Yes.
What'd you get, Kel?
I was just waiting for that.
Sorry.
What is with ones today? So I got
Nice.
one success at 6.
Okay. You raise the gun, you train it on him. The smile does not leave the professor's face, and as the thunder crack reverberates through the chamber, you see the younger, very eager student kind of leap in front and just like, "No, Professor!" And at the same time, you see that all the work Horace had been doing is destroyed as the loud noise suddenly shocks this monstrous boy, and you hear a roar bellow even louder than the gunshot, and he rushes the gate.
Oh shit.
Move.
Yes.
Move out of the way.
We all move out of the. I'm moving out of the way.
Make way for the man with the gas lamp.
I'm literally putting my hands on this gigantic Russian as he starts moving, forcefully dragging him. Move!
Yeah. Going. I cover you. You cover me. It's all good. We're all covered.
Okay, so
You'll notice he's unarmed, but he will sort of cover you.
all right, so there's this little group of Goonies that are just huddled around this Irishman with a gas lamp, and just
Shuffle.
Dream come true.
rushing out back into the castle hallway underneath. Where would you like to go? You can see that
Where are we going?
it has half of its torso pulled out through the ovular cavity that you guys created for it, and it is just kind of like digging its meaty hand into the viscous liquid, and you can just see it trying to just pull itself through the hole.
Oh,
We-
this is going to be very bad for us. I'm very sorry. Is child?
Is that?
Is bad child?
He's a bad child.
Is bad child? Do you smoke? Does anybody smoke? There is oil.
It's a good question.
I quit.
The gas lantern.
Yeah.
Padre, hand me that, and I.
Right. No.
You could drop yourselves into darkness again. There is a light that looks like it's coming from further down the hall.
Does anybody have like a big rock? Maybe do it like caveman.
Can I do something
Turn
with
down the
forces?
lamp.
Oh,
Have
Oh.
forces. Can I do something with that?
you can embolden the gas fire that's coming off of this lamp. So you could,
Can I get like
yeah,
from the
you could literally pull the fire out of the lamp and into the oil itself.
Because I wanna, yeah, like as I reach for the gaslight that Collin has, I guess because he pulls back, I guess I can just reach out and then like extract there into the oil on the floor. So I'm not too familiar with this whole magic abilities. It's almost
Whatever you
potential
think
and
of,
accidental.
it can happen.
Yeah, whenever when we come to a magical effect, we can discuss what it is that you want to do, and then kind of go through options as like what sphere combinations we want to try. Yours is simple forces, and you have, as you think of the idea as the urge to just like the desire to use the gas lamp but not sacrifice the only source of light that you have. Excuse me. You have this vision again of this Mayan, and it kind of like, it looks like it's looking over a dead kind of deer, some kind of prey that it has hunted. There's a torch in one of the hunting party's hands, and they're kind of like looking around to see how to start a fire. And your avatar for a moment kind of turns to look at you. ¿Qué es lo que quieres hacer, hermanita? Esto va a ser mal, eh? Va a ser bien mal. And you can hear that there's going to be an issue, that this is a bad idea. But it's the only idea you have. Do you still want to pull the fire from the lamp?
This is Grace we're talking about, of course.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your arete.
Oh boy.
I would have been more cautious, be like, no, but she's all brash.
Remember also something that we haven't played around with since we just started. You can at any point use quintessence to lower the difficulty on any magical effect that you're trying to pull off.
What is our current quintessence?
It should be equal to whatever your avatar rating is.
I do not have avatar or other backgrounds.
Okay, so you have no quintessence in your body currently.
Okay.
If you have Prime, you can pull it. This castle does count as a node. Those of you with Prime can feel some of the threads of the dragon line, the ley line itself kind of just pulsing underneath.
It's a big negative, Chief.
Okay.
Spend a willpower. Spend a willpower.
So, what do I need to roll?
You're going to roll your arete, which is just 2 dice. It's a standard
Okay.
difficulty 6.
It's arete, no forces?
No forces. Forces just lets you know what you can do. The arete is where the actual magic happens.
Right.
Yeah. And remember that willpower can always be used to create an automatic success.
I got a 7 and 3.
Okay, so
success.
1 success. So all of you see this kind of spunky, kind of Hispanic woman, the Spanish descented woman, just suddenly point at the gas lamp and then trace a finger into the oily, viscous floor. And sure enough, almost like a kind of New Year's Chinese dragon, there's a coil that shoots up and out from the gas lamp and just dances excuse me, down towards the viscous fluid. You will get a paradox point for that because it is vulgar. And
What does that mean?
but luckily there are no sleeping witnesses. And sure enough, the floor suddenly catches and the whole room is lit ablaze. And you just see, now that it's clear and brightly lit, this boy, if it was a boy, has been here for some time. There's a beard on its face. There's long hair. There looks like the nubs of his fingertips have kind of been worn down so that there's these little protrusions of the bone underneath. It looks like he has claws from his fingertips, and you just see him almost unfazed by the fire around him. It just infuriates him more, and as it does, he closes his arms around him and he flexes them almost like Bruce Lee, and you can see that Cobra's hood of his musculature pop the bars off from the stone embattlements, and he comes out and he just slams his meaty fists into the floor, and he tosses just this almost iridescent, colorful splash of fire and oil and blood into the air around him, and it is frightening. This is a thing that raises the primordial fear inside of all of you. This is a thing that should not be. It is almost Lovecraftian. And as the oil kind of falls on top of him and it starts to burn his clothes away, you can see that there is something. He has been, the Germans would say, perfected for war. And he just starts to shake off the heat from around him. What would you like to do?
I go ahead and pull out my sidearm. Because something tells me closing the door on him isn't going to stop him.
Just shut door. It's fine.
You never know until you try it, bro.
It has chain.
What kind of game do you think I'm running here, bro? Just close the door on us.
So, all right.
But before you do that, to answer Ike's question about paradox,
I was just hoping you were gonna let it go.
No,
until it happened.
No, because it happened. I got paradox, and so there are two different ways to cast magic in Mage. You can either do it subtly and coincidentally, so that reality accepts your changing of its rules. Because what you do as a mage is that you play with reality. There's a tapestry, and you are the weavers that have kind of taken over control of how each thread should be kind of placed and woven into this story. When you do things in a vulgar manner that reality kind of looks at it and says, this is not the way things work, you get what's called paradox. And so when you physically pull fire from a gas lamp and direct it into a kind of gasoline and oil filled room, that's vulgar because it doesn't happen. But if you had dropped the gas lamp and then pulled the same trick, it is feasible that some of the gas lamp oil might have trickled out, bringing a trail of fire with it into the room and causing it to blaze. Which is coincidental enough that reality could have been like, I mean, it's a stretch, but I accept it.
Yeah, you get
And
lucky.
paradoxes, that backlash
Paradox is
that you
bad.
feel in the universe.
Yeah.
And what was our paradox or my paradox?
You got 1 point, which I already put on your character.
You accumulate enough points, and reality comes
Yeah.
to.
If you look at your
Bitch slap you in the
lessons.
face.
if you look at your
I'm looking at.
quintessence wheel, you'll see that there's a little dot on the left-hand side.
Huh?
Everything above the dot is your quintessence. Everything below the dot is your paradox. And if your paradox ever gets towards your quintessence, it starts to eat at your very pattern.
So I have 3 quintessence.
Two
It's not a
quintessence.
dot, so now I see that. Okay.
Yeah, you have 2 quintessence,
Uh,
1 paradox. But you can also start to bleed paradox. Like your body is going to naturally try to protect yourself from all the damage that you're doing to reality, and it will bleed paradox. When it does, it is usually because it's trying to rework its own pattern. So it will be painful. It will be extremely painful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yay.
It's like being bitch slapped with a Mack truck.
Yes.
Oh yes. Another Saturday.
Just a typical Saturday night. Come on.
Is there any way I can get rid of that paradox? Like,
A familiar, which I know that you have put points into, will
Yeah.
usually eat a point of paradox a week because that's what they do.
okay,
Delicious.
okay,
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, you
So
just bleed it off.
okay, cool. So this is for newbies and any
Yeah,
or of the
Yeah.
viewers at home.
yeah. I forget that some of you have not played Mage.
I haven't played either. If it makes you feel any
So
better.
yeah, no.
Neither of us.
So yeah, don't be afraid to just be like, hey, what does that mean?
I played the other version.
Excuse me.
Cool.
And we'll stop and we'll go over it. But
Yeah.
yeah, you have this hulking
Thank you for
beast
that.
that is on fire and angry at all of you.
Oh, well, you may want to add to the paradox rules. So it's not just reality that you want to fool, but if you do something vulgar and somebody that's not awakened, aka not a mage, or
Yeah, sleepers.
if they see you, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Right? Because
They'll
not
tell the
only are you
reality
messing
cop.
with reality, you're bending people's
Perceptions.
perception of it as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a
So
it's like a Men in Black. A person is smart. People are stupid.
Yes, that Mack truck just grew by 16 sizes.
Yeah.
Right.
So for each witness.
That
Yeah.
pizza sounds good.
First witness.
Yeah. So. But yeah,
All right.
you see that with one hand it is holding, it's kind of cupped one of its ears, and it is kind of just brushing itself, trying to brush off whatever burning clothes is on it as it's uncomfortable. It is currently not looking in your direction. It is dealing with the sound that angered it, and then the fire that has now kind of drawn its attention.
Okay, I think now's a pretty good time to close the door and run, I guess, then. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure enough.
Yeah.
And,
Even you, Padre.
Is it like a little latch or something we can drop? Like,
Even are odds in your favor.
always even.
It is a 9. There used to be.
And of course it is a 9.
It looks like there used to be, and it has been repurposed. But you do see the cradles for what was the home of whatever wooden kind of beam would sit here in the front of the door.
Well, that's nice that it used to be.
Well, but
there.
this is
Yeah.
good. This is great. This is wonderful.
Is there anything we can push up against the door?
look around the room.
Yeah. Can we
Bricks.
look around the room?
Yeah, it's a hallway. It's a hallway that you're in. It's about 6.
We're in a spooky castle, right?
Yes,
Like
you're-
we're in a
you're-
spooky castle hallway.
You're in a
Wolfenstein.
castle. Yeah, like a castle
Like we're in Wolfenstein, is what we're doing, and I'm down with this. I just want to put that out there.
dungeon. Yeah.
Right.
So it's about 6 feet wide. It's about 8 feet tall at the highest kind of arch. It goes down to the right of the door as you come out for what looks to be about 100 yards, and then it comes to a turn to the left. And if you're standing in the door to your left, the hallway continues for about 50 yards, and that's where the light is. And you can see what looks to be a stairway leading up. Excuse me.
Run.
Left or right?
Good idea. And with that, I'm off.
Which way? And is everybody going the same way?
Well, considering that I still think we're in purgatory, I'm gonna run towards the light.
Oh, look at you, always such a good Catholic boy.
Right.
So some of you see the
This may be a mistake. I'm running into a room full of Nazis.
Irishman running towards the light. Is this enough impulse for the rest of you to follow, or do you want to go your own ways?
I'm going to shout back at the room, "You can't come out, the door is locked," and then I'm going to start running. Because he looks stupid.
Yeah. Let me see.
yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah,
If,
Ingrid Moore.
So he's like an elephant that's been trained with the.
Exactly, that's what I was hoping. The stick.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
good. No, yeah.
Oh well, I guess I'll just stay here and burn to death.
You hear from inside just a very hefty, "Ah!" And then you, instead of banging on the door, you actually hear him banging on the wall.
Oh,
Oh,
Poor boy.
he thinks the door's locked.
It's like that creature in the Hitchhiker's Guide, where you just throw the towel over your face, and it believes that because you're blind, he's blind.
Well,
I cannot see you.
oh,
Yeah. You have fooled.
magic.
You have fooled him. You took his nose.
now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it and run.
Yeah. Yeah.
how
Good
many
idea.
different
Good thinking.
passages are in this hallway?
What was that, Mitt?
Is it just a singular hallway, or is it multiple chasms coming off of?
No. It goes in either direction from the room that you just left. It looks like to the right it continues on this level, but to the left, where your only source of light is going, it looks like there's a stairway going up.
Intrinsically, which direction is north?
Oh.
Up or down?
Forward is north. So
And forward is the stairs.
the stairs look like they go north. Yes. The hallway looks like it goes south.
I'm going to point a finger. North, south. North, good. South, maybe. Pick. As he starts walking toward the Russian. Or, I'm sorry, the Irishman.
Okay.
Is Irishman running with me? Are we all running at this point?
I think so. I think we're all heading in the same direction.
Okay.
Well, we hadn't
Cool.
decided if we were all going in the same direction.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you
I'm-
haven't, but I'm running.
I probably should join you.
Yeah. So
The Padre, the Russian, and the good old Italian are heading towards north.
it's like a joke about to happen.
That sounds great.
We can't let these guys have all the fun now, can we?
Yeah.
The Irish, the Italian, and the Russian head to a bar. No.
Yeah. They say ouch. As you come to where the hallway ends and the stairway leads up, you can see there's another sconce halfway up this corkscrew of a stairway, and you can hear people upstairs. You can hear two men in conversation. And you just hear one of them. Yeah, I just don't want to go downstairs. It's like he looks at you and it's like it's creepy. It's just I don't want to deal with that. And the other guy's like, no, I know. It's like every time they choose me to go feed him, it's just like, why? Johan is there. Fucking send Johan.
What language is this?
Oh, it's English with the German, the very heavy German
Subtitles.
accent. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
subtitles.
And the other
With
guy.
my magic, I could read the subtitles.
Yeah. And the other guy is like, yeah, fucking Johan does nothing. Like, do something for fucking. It's like just because you're the fucking. It's because your family is like, nepotism has no place here. And the guy's like, no, I know.
No, every
I
unit
know.
has a Johan.
Every unit.
Are you gonna say that in the room? Just gonna. That's what I picture. We're like running, and you're like,
the door.
because I was
Every
prepared to be
unit has
like,
a
yeah, Johan's
Johan.
the
Pow,
worst.
pow.
Yeah, just open fire.
We just hear. And I just, fuck Johan.
Johan's a beach, and then just open fire.
Yeah.
No. I'll press my body against the wall as I'm ascending the stairs.
Okay. So yeah, as you guys are climbing up the stairs, all of you are kind of in a what I would imagine is a conga line of death dealing. So who's first, and in what order are you kind of climbing the stairway?
I mean, the
This
first or
is a
second.
few-
I think Irish was going first.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
ran off first, so I guess I'm up ahead. I'm running point here.
Okay.
Irish, Russian, Italian,
Collin,
and
Misha,
either the Polish or the Yeah.
I'm last.
Spanish.
American,
okay, Horace,
American, Spanish.
Grace,
Yep.
and then Sophia. Okay.
Who here has a weapon? First of all, like I have a weapon drawn. You have a weapon drawn. Is no one else?
They don't give us weapon. I'm a woman.
Just my wits and my smile.
Okay, you can control fire. And you are a chemist? Okay. I do not care what dangle between your legs. I care about what dangle between your eyes. Okay? Who can do a good shot?
As he says dangle, you, Sophia, you start to notice again the pulsing of these images that are pushed through your mind, and then you notice this kind of ethereal web on everything. The stairs have a web pattern with little kind of spiders crawling around it. The wall behind you has a web pattern and this spider that's kind of like clicking its mandibles at you. And you start to notice that everything around you has something of a web pattern. The clothing on it has web patterns, and there's these little spiders that are crawling all over you, all over them. And you can just start to see the spiritual nature of the world. And one of the stair spiders kind of looks at you as you're about to step on it, and it kind of backs away. It's just like, no step. And you see its front two legs kind of just like push towards you.
We cannot go up the stairs. We cannot.
Woman's intuition.
I don't know how to explain. It's.
Are you a witch too? She is a witch. Are you a witch?
I don't know. I just see spiders. I see spiders everywhere.
The fucking spiders, where?
Sorry, arachnophobe.
Yeah.
I see spiders on you. I see spiders on me. I don't know. But
You're high.
We cannot go up those
Okay.
stairs.
No.
And as she says that, you
to
see
be
what
other
looks
way.
to be a cigarette being flicked down the stairs, and you just hear, all right. I think each time I go down and feed this fucking thing, then it's making so much noise. Wish I could just shoot it in its face.
Down.
I want to use my mind
Mm-hmm.
spear to make him think that going down is even more dangerous than usual.
Okay. Go ahead
The
and
impression
yeah,
of something being much more dangerous.
roll your arete.
Yes, sir.
Garbage willpower for garbage soldiers.
That is 2 successes.
Yeah. You hear the first couple of steps coming down towards your group, and then there's a moment, and you hear the walls below you thump again, and there's a heavy crash as a stone comes off and hits the floor, and then you hear him. You know what? I'm going to get Johan to do it. Fuck that guy. I'm tired of picking up his slick. And the guy's like, good for you. Stand up for yourself. And the guy's like, you're right. I'm going to go to the theatre, and I'm going to see a good play tonight with my missus. And you hear the steps turn away from the stairway, and you hear both of them walking away.
Do I still see the spiders?
No, they started to fade away as you stepped, as everything else is kind of stepped into the forefront of your vision. They just kind of fade away. Like they're always there. They're always going to be there. And kind of you feel like you can turn it off, but there's something reassuring about knowing that you're never alone anymore.
It's me and the spiders.
Yeah.
And these brutes.
Yep.
And lady.
In Pyromancer.
Yeah. But yeah, you go upstairs, and you come into an alcove, like a large cylindrical room that has two doorways rather. And you can see that you're coming up towards the surface. You can feel drafts now. You can feel what feels like a very cool evening air. Collin, Grace, you know that it's about, you don't know how, but you know that it's about 7:30, 7:45 at night, almost 8, to whatever time you were used to. Or no, sorry, to whatever time zone you are in.
What the laws is that corresponds to the laws that or
That's time.
Time.
That's time.
time? Okay, time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
7:30 now in this time zone.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah. And sure enough,
Um,
you see what looks to be a small, kind of half moon shaped grate with thin metal bars at top. The dome between the two doorways that lead to further hallways. There's an evening sky above you. You can smell that it just kind of rained. That it might have been raining the whole day. But there's a crispness to the night above you. And there's a renewed kind of sense of hope as you see the night sky, even with the loud banging that you left behind.
Are the stars out at this point?
I'm wishing I didn't leave my cardigan inside of the German guy.
There
Understood.
are no stars. It is a cloudy night.
Words you rarely get to say.
I want to look around the room, see if I can find some type of weapon, maybe a gun
Okay.
or something.
Okay.
I have spare gun. I have pistol. I also have rifle. Okay, my rifle. I share pistol. Until we kill Nazi, then you give me pistol back. It's good. It's Tokarev. I don't want German shite.
Not a problem.
Okay. So who needs? Oh yes, you. You can throw fire. I think you're fine. I will give. I give to chemist.
Okay. There's a small table with a single stool, and there's a half-eaten apple that has a knife dug into it. It's a simple knife.
I'll grab the simple knife.
Okay.
I will grab the apple.
I take a bite to eat it. Or like an apple.
Like if you're not eating that apple, I'm eating that apple. I'm not gonna waste food. Like I'm a Red Army frontline soldier. I eat when I eat.
It will remove the taste of that viscous fluid that you put into your own mouth willingly.
Oh.
So
You need the apple more than all of us.
there's not.
Well.
There is not. Damn. It looks like this is just a kind of way station. And it looks like the two soldiers that you urged away are going down the right-hand side corridor that is pointed, corkscrewed around. It's going southeast. The other hallway leads northeast.
So we go the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Sounds like plan.
Okay.
Keep the lantern low. You don't know who's in the forest.
I bring it to like the lowest I can, where the flame still looks like it's strong enough to.
Yeah, you can just bring it down below your waist. It still provides enough light for you to walk through. And sure enough, you come to another set of stairways, another stairway that kind of corkscrew up. And as you come up this half floor of stairs, you can see the open courtyard of what looks like a castle. It's got battlements. It's got the open kind of portcullis. There's a drawbridge even. It looks like it might have a moat. Excuse me. But you also see that there's some jeeps off to the side. You can hear horses in a stable nearby. And it looks like there are these weird pointed spears that kind of shoot up out of very clear intervals. Those of you with correspondence can see that they're set up at every 100 feet. And they're all kind of uniform as far as their height along the battlements.
Anything on the spears?
It's very difficult to see from this distance. You can either try to make a perception alertness roll if you don't have correspondence, or those of you with correspondence can try to make an arete roll to kind of see further out.
You said we could do perception alertness?
Yes.
I'll roll that.
I
I'll roll
will
perception alertness.
Okay.
use my
2 successes. That
Okay.
is arete roll.
Yep, correspondence. Alright, are you using your correspondence as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do 10s explode for this?
Not for
Success.
regular rolls.
Okay. Then 4 successes.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Just a reminder for Ashley, you have 3-ish minutes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disappear. I got 2 successes.
Okay. So everybody that rolled at least 2 successes on the regular rolls, and everybody that rolled at least one success on their arete roll, you can see that there are heavily insulated wires that kind of wrap around at a certain height and then come down, and it looks like they lead towards each other, like they're daisy chained. And you notice that there's more spears, more of these metallic spears on the tower tops. Again, anywhere that they could be 100 feet from each other, they exist. And there's one kind of very thin, metallic, Eiffel Tower looking structure set behind what looks to be newly erected stone walls. They don't match the construction of the original castle battlements. They are actually modern, kind of brick-laid form. But they are definitely protecting whatever that is.
What's the plan, gents, ladies?
Well, my plan is still to quietly get out of here. So, let's see if there's a way that we can kind of quietly make our way out to the other side of the courtyard.
I do hear horses.
Well,
We
that's one way, I suppose.
There are jeeps.
Yes, I can use a jeep.
We could use a jeep.
Well, sure, if the keys were in it.
We could probably hotwire it.
I probably do that.
Who knows how
Look.
to do that here?
Germans are stupid. I bet the keys are going to be in the ignition.
We will
Sure.
never know unless we try.
It's true.
So I start stomping towards the jeep.
You know what? That's a pretty fair point. Let's go ahead and try.
So, I'd like to use my entropy 2
Yep,
for the chance that those are in the ignition.
I felt it.
same here.
Oof! What the fuck is with these ones?
You need a new set
2
of dice.
successes.
I did get a new set of dice. I'm
man.
gonna spend a willpower to give that one success
Man,
with a point of quintessence spent.
I hope that Robin is thoroughly enjoying herself at this.
Robin is thoroughly enjoying this. She didn't have to spend a thing for my comeuppance. Sorry, in my stream they can pay people can pay points so that I am meaner, and she has gotten really buttered over it.
I mean,
That's a really great business plan.
It's good.
It's a really smart idea.
I mean, I might have or may not have led to her being eaten by a worm, and so this is fair.
Oh, which worm?
A rhyme worm. Oh, sorry, not that worm. The other worm. Well, another worm.
With the Y or with the O?
No, just like a big slug.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was,
Yeah, you know.
I didn't know if it was the Y.
I thought you were eaten by a dragon.
No.
It was.
Yeah,
That's
no.
next.
This
I
is,
thought I thought it was Will of Darkness is Garu's worm.
no.
So
No, that's
Yeah.
that's coming. But
Oh.
sure enough, as you guys make your way to the two jeeps, the keys are in each of the ignitions.
So you look at that.
Hey.
Stupid. Good idea. This
Here's
is a
to
good idea.
dumb Germans.
Why they keep their keys in their car? It's not our problem.
Yeah, dumb Germans, bro. This is
I
why they
would
lost.
Should
love
we all
to-
take our own? Or should we all share a cozy?
I think we should maybe take two
Yeah, I think we should take more.
The
not
merrier. The more, the merrier.
to each one, like everybody, like a caravan of 5 jeeps
Just
bursting out of here.
What if we take them all?
Yeah, no, there's
Then they have none.
there's two
Oh, fair enough.
there's two jeeps.
Okay.
There's two
Okay.
jeeps before they're
Okay, fine.
you all kind of break up into a caravan. There are just two jeeps. There is one of those covered trucks. And as you make your way over to the jeeps, you see that there is a stable. It looks like they have about a dozen horses. There's a guard that kind of is leaning back in his chair. It looks like he's half asleep. Excuse me, at the entrance to the stable. There's one guard that's kind of patrolling the top of the battlements where the portcullis is and the entryway to the castle. But otherwise, it looks like everything is going on inside.
So before I get into the jeep,
Mm.
I'm actually gonna make my way over to the truck, and I'm just gonna see if I can kind of stick my hand underneath the engine chassis. Just I'm gonna walk right underneath it, stick my hand underneath, grab something, and pull.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use my entropy 2
Oh.
to
Oh, everybody has entropy.
yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and use entropy 2 to make sure they can't get that thing started. Or if they
Okay.
do it doesn't
Roll
go far.
your irritate. Let's see how lucky you are at pulling something.
All right, here we go.
I have an idea.
Sure.
You can use the horses as a distraction. Let them loose.
Oh, that's a good idea as well. All right, I got 1 success, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just use a willpower
Okay.
as well.
Sure. So you reach up. You feel for a couple things that are kind of hard and fast stuck to the engine, and then you're trying to remember the differences between the airplane engine and the kind of car engine, and then you slide your hand, and sure enough, something just comes up with a satisfying pop, and then there's a secondary pop, and you're like, yeah, this is good, and as it comes loose, you kind of feel it snag on something, and as you pull, you hear a snap of kind of like a rubber band breaking. It's really soft, and then you see a belt drop as you pull this piece of reinforced kind of pipe.
Well, that couldn't have worked out better. I make my way back to the jeep
Okay.
with a smug expression on my face, like I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
We're gonna head to the stable of the horses
Okay.
and open the gate for them and let them roam.
Since you are approaching where the guard is sleeping, let's have you make a dex and stealth roll, please.
Some stuff.
As you was making your way to the horses, I would have mentioned to slap it on the rump as hard as you could. Easily spooked.
See. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I have successes.
2 successes.
Yep.
Okay. Sure enough, you see that there's a moment where he kind of shifts and you freeze instinctively, and then you see him just kind of like lick his lips, kind of shimmy his shoulders as he kind of gets more comfortable in the seat, and then he just kind of keeps his head down, and you hear him start to snore softly.
Alright. I continue.
Okay.
Softly.
Yeah. You get into the stable itself. You can see what looks to be a young boy kind of brushing one of the horses, and he kind of looks over in your direction. He's about 13. He's like,
He doesn't see me, right?
no, he does. He looks at you. He's just like, who are you?
Hi. Grace.
I don't recognize you. What unit are you with?
I am with the special unit. Actually, I'm here about the horses.
The horses were not supposed to be ready until tomorrow.
There's been a change of plans.
Why don't you sound German?
I'm practicing on other accents, so when we incorporate. I mean, I do have an American flag on my bomber jacket and everything, so it's like
He's like,
infiltration.
oh, yeah, of course. Here, let me go get the manifest for you. And you see him start to book towards a bell.
Why did
Well,
he have to do that?
Yes.
I'm gonna start just taking aim at the I'm gonna outside while this is happening. I'm just gonna pull my rifle up and just watch the one on the battlements
Oh God.
Okay.
and just keep trailing on it. Just
Okay.
waiting. I know this is gonna go tits up, and I just want to be on top of it.
Yeah. And sure enough, after a moment, you hear just this wild bell ringing from the stables. And the guard on the battlement just suddenly stops and turns towards the noise.
Bingle bangle.
Make
I opened the gate, spanked the horses, and let them run out.
Okay. Well, the one horse that you open the gate for runs out. All the other ones are kind of in their cells. So you'd have to open all of them individually.
I open all of them
All right.
with the quickness.
So the boy sees what you're doing, and he's gonna come over and try to punch you. And you hear a gunshot from outside.
Do we see him making the shot at this point?
Oh yeah, you hear it and you see it. He's had his gun trained. The Russian has had a gun trained on the guy in the battlements.
And this is the young German boy?
No, the boy's inside the stables. You guys are outside still, so you see the soldier who was sleeping on the chair just kind of suddenly burst up as the bells kind of wake him from his sleep. What'd you get, Kel?
3 successes. And that is 10 dice of damage.
Yeah, he was not expecting it, so you get all of that added to your threshold.
Okay, so that is... okay, those two are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 lethal.
There is not even a Wilhelm scream as he falls over the other side of the battlement. It is an instant, almost deadly shot right through his throat. And you can see that he's dropped his rifle on the battlement itself, and he's just kind of fallen with a satisfying crunch. And then you hear and you see that he hits the drawbridge and then kind of rolls onto the moat itself, and you hear a very kind of not deep but very, very kind of thick splash. Big
Big thirds make big slash.
the guard outside the stables is coming to, and he's pulling his weapon, so that's his turn. Ike, do you want to try to dodge, or do you want to just kind of like counterattack? What do you want to do with the boy?
Boy's actually coming to punch me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I just take my head and I'm gonna clock him.
Okay. So you want to dodge and you want to punch him?
Yeah, I'm just...
Okay. So that's splitting your dice pool. So you're going to take your dex and your athletics, which is 6, and then your dex and your brawl, and figure out which one is lower. They're both 6, so you're going to get 3 dice for each action.
Dice for each.
Yep.
Okay. Hold on. They're dropping everywhere.
Now they touch the floor. They're lucky.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
Here,
Don't
let me drop mine on the floor.
just.
Poor Kelly.
There's a lot less anger involved when you try to when you get the good luck involved.
I got a 2, 2, 10, 2, 10, 1.
So 1 success on one, and then no success on the other one. So you see that you kind of get cocky for a moment, and you imagine that you've dealt with older brothers, you've dealt with kind of the school bullies and whatnot, growing up as a woman in a man's world.
No other brothers, just the men, the bullies.
Yeah, and you kind of you see him telegraph, like he telegraphs his punch, and you're like, oh, this kid has no training. And the second you move your head in one direction, you feel his other hand come up and get you right in the gut.
Ooh, he fainted you.
Yeah.
Kid's got moxie.
Yeah, it's about all he has left. So go ahead and roll your stamina to soak, because this is bashing. And you can actually soak this.
Yeah, 3 successes.
Oh, yeah. You
Yeah.
you take the punch and you kind of swing back with it. You have a little bit of actual combat knowledge. Like you've had to tussle, you've had to dance a couple times, and you see him kind of pull back, and he steps into a very trained kind of fighter's pose. Actually, do you want to do anything? And Mitt, do you want to do anything while you guys are outside? And Nardi?
How far away is the weapon that the soldier bequeathed to us when he took a dive in the lake?
It is what I would say 150 feet in front of you, and then another 30 feet up a sheer wall.
Parkour.
I mean, do you have the
Reasonably, could I scale it?
spheres for that?
I have fear-wise.
Correspondence, entropy, and mind. It'd be a tough sell magically. You could try to do it with just your physical, mundane abilities. You do have a knife, so you could use that. You could use that to kind of.
Actually, in theory, if you wanted to, he could co-locate it. Like, he could just pull it. An object can be teleported with correspondence too.
Yeah,
but it needs
a house size.
forces or
Yeah,
Like if he wants to blow himself up, but
yeah, like a house
So he
cat
could
sized.
teleport the wall to like underneath his feet.
No. You can
yeah,
pull.
like just like
You can pull like a house cat sized object from a different location, as long as you know where it is.
and I don't know where it is because it's on the floor.
Yeah, the rifle's a little bit bigger than the cat, so you would need like at least 3 successes to pull it.
Oh, I see what we're doing.
You could try if you wanna go banana daiquiris.
I feel like that might be.
For those of us about the paradox, I salute me.
There you go.
All right.
You've always got willpower.
This is true.
Woo, baby! 3 successes.
You using a
Damn.
willpower point?
Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
that's with the
Okay.
willpower.
Okay.
Okay.
So it will be vulgar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and there is a witness.
Uh-oh.
There's a sleeper witness. So that's going to be
Wait, who else is there?
the guard that was sleeping.
Oh, but even
But I
though
was
he's
above.
oh well, I guess now he's awake because it was a shot and the bells are ringing and all that.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's 1 dot of paradox for the highest sphere being used, plus 1 more. So you take 3 in one shot. If you had botched, it would have been 6.
So I just got bitch slapped in the face with reality.
Yeah, and as you kind of imagine yourself holding the gun, the rest of you that are there, you see almost instinctively, like lost in a daydream, Horace just kind of pushes his hand into nothingness. It disappears. It physically just kind of slowly vanishes from sight, and as you see the muscles kind of coil and tense, he pulls out the rifle from this pocket of nothing. But you also kind of see ripples kind of go through him and the rifle itself, and you can all kind of, those of you with Prime, sense the Tellurian, the tapestry of reality, just kind of like pushing hard against that kind of bend of its rules. And even the guard who was waking up and kind of pulling his sidearm, like he sees this and his eyes widen, and you see him kind of just again start to just push the back of his hand into his eyes, kind of rubbing away the sleep, like he must be lost in some kind of dream. Ashley and Nardi, what would you like to do as this is happening?
I am going to shoot the wide-eyed Nazi.
All right, roll your dex and firearms.
I'm going to help with the shooting because I have a gun.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
You were loaned a Nazi killing machine.
yeah. She was the one that told go to.
Yeah, so go ahead and do you have firearms? You do have without a
do.
firearms.
Yeah.
I do have firearms.
All right, so dex and firearms for you.
3 successes.
My dex.
3 successes.
Yes.
Excuse me. As a sidearm, you're dealing a base of 4, so with 3, that's 7 dice of damage you're doing. And I'll give you 1 more, so you deal 8, since he clearly was not paying attention to you.
Okay.
So it's +1 for the sneak attack. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh no. Oh dear.
How many successes did you get,
I-
Ashley?
I got to 1.
Okay, so same thing.
And
So you get to roll 4 base plus 1 for you hitting him. He's not expecting it, so 1 more. So that's 6 dice of damage. So,
I got 7 successes.
oh, he's dead. Between the
Yeah.
You can still shoot his corpse though, just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Oh yeah. No, it's yeah. You see, you both kind of as Mitwad is pulling, as Horace is pulling this gun out of nothing. You see the Irishman kind of turn towards this bewildered, unbelieving Nazi, fire, and instinctively you kind of turn and fire as well to help. The chest cavity of this Nazi just kind of blows open in the back, and there's a spatter of blood against the barn doors. And as he kind of turns to look down at the wound, there's another smaller spatter as your shot kind of hits him right in the right hand shoulder where his gun is, and he kind of drops it as a reflex. But he just kind of tries to reach up towards his gaping wound, and he just falls backwards. This has been a bad night for him.
He's not gonna have a worse one though.
He's not. It can only get better from here.
Can only get better from here.
Well, he is a Nazi, so I disagree.
Yeah. So Ike, you hear 2 gunshots go off.
Good one.
You hear 3 gunshots go off. Technically, 1 rifle, two handguns, and the boy kind of turns in the direction of the shots, leaving himself open. Do you want to go for the horses, or do you want to go for the takedown?
Oh, I'm gonna go for a punch.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for a punch, and I want to use my forces to use as like the wind to help a punch even further, like to knock him out completely.
Okay, you can use forces to improve your leverage. You can do that if you want. To push more of gravity behind you and into the punch itself.
To add more. Actually, I don't want to rip this kid's head off either. Probably. Might be too strong.
he is German.
It's true. So if you're gonna go full out against them, then it's gonna be strength and brawl. That's normally 5 dice, so you're gonna roll 2 to do the attack, and then you're gonna roll 2 for your arete to see how it enhances the attack or not.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll first for the strength and brawl.
Okay.
I have 2 successes.
Okay, so you're definitely gonna punch him, and I'll roll for your arete to see if you successfully pull that off.
2 successes.
Okay. So it's gonna be your strength plus 3 for your arete successes. So you're rolling 6 dice plus 1 because he's not expecting it, so 7 dice against this kid.
I had 4 successes, right? 2.
Yeah. So this is damage now. So you're gonna roll 7 dice of pure damage, pure bashing damage.
7 dice. 1, 2, 3 10s.
Oof.
3, 4, 2, 3.
Okay.
Like 3 successes.
Yeah.
3 10s.
I rolled a 1, so that's bad for him.
Very bad Nazi.
Yeah. You clock him right on the chin, and you can sense that you've pushed yourself so perfectly. You've kind of aligned yourself with the way gravity should pull him, and there's a very soft kind of crack, and you can feel that his jaw is dislocated, and as he falls to the floor, you notice that he starts to flop.
Starts to flop.
Yep.
Well, I hope you're satisfied.
Oh boy.
And if you go back to opening all of the pens for the horses, once you're done, you walk by him and you see that he hasn't moved, but his flopping has stopped. And you can see that he's making noises, kind of like the monster you left downstairs, because of his jaw being unhinged. But it almost sounds. Well, let me not assume, because this will be more interesting. Let's have you make a perception and alertness roll. Or empathy. Perception and empathy roll.
Perception and empathy.
Yeah, let's see if you can pick up what he's trying to say.
1 success out of 3.
It sounds like he can't feel his legs. It sounds like he's saying he can't feel his hands. It looks like you paralyzed him.
That was one hell of a punch.
You are a mage. But the horses,
Not my,
the horses ride off, whinnying and just kind of making noises. All of you can hear the German soldiers kind of coming to. There's a siren that starts to blare through the castle. And Grace comes running out with horses kind of running in every direction from the barn. There's a dead soldier outside as you run out. You can pick up his gun.
I grab his gun.
Yep, there it is. So all of you are armed now in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. The U.S. wouldn't issue me a gun, but it's okay.
Magnum PI.
All right,
bro.
boys, who's riding with me?
Yeah, I'll go too.
Jump in the other jeep and drive and get in the driver's seat.
Okay.
I'll join the
I want to
The-
be an Irishman.
Yeah.
I'll join the
The lady driver.
Hispanic woman, the Hispanic woman with big balls.
Okay. So sure enough, the two drivers, please go ahead and make a wit and drive as you try to head out of this castle to avoid the horses.
All right.
Oh, what? 4 successes. Bum, 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 bum.
Better than I would have
3
got.
successes.
Okay, so yeah, Grace takes the lead as you have to avoid one of the horses. She manages to kind of avoid all of them altogether. There's a recklessness to the driving, but it's controlled.
I'm sorry, to remind me again, do 10s do anything?
No, not unless you have a specialty.
Okay.
So yeah, but the two of you, the two jeeps, drive away from this castle into the forest of Germany. And you drive for how long?
So we're not necessarily safe, guys. Just throwing that out there.
No.
You said it was at least what, 1700, 1800,
Yes.
1930.
1930.
1930.
Yeah, so it's probably what now? How long has it been? The time?
It has been 15-ish minutes, 20 minutes in total. So it's closer. It is just after 2000.
Okay. Which one of us is I'm sorry. Which jeep is in front?
Grace, your jeep, the one with you and Grace in it.
Okay. I'm gonna look over to the Hispanic woman. Direction.
Direction.
We go north.
You
We go
both
south,
you both
or-
have correspondence, so you know
Yes.
exactly which direction you're going in.
Can I intune which way a possible village is, or something to guide us?
You can try to push your senses out and beyond to try and get like a bird's eye view of the area. That'll require like at least 3 successes as well.
I want to use my with correspondence. Can I determine?
Determine what?
See that? If there's like a village or somewhere safe we can go to and head in that direction.
If you would like to
What else?
move your eyes from the road so that you can get a bird's eye view of the place, I will let you do that.
No, I'm okay. No. That sounds very.
I mean, you can
That sounds a
tell
bit much.
Forrest to take the wheel.
It's a good idea.
Just study.
I'm just saying, it's a good idea. You could get a bird's eye view if you just want to take your eyes off the road.
So I'm gonna focus on the road. I'm not taking off my eyes. I'm a pilot.
I will do the opposite of her, and I'm going to mumble my jumbo.
You're gonna. I mean, so
3
this is
successes.
okay. So there's a moment you see the Italian man next to you, kind of his head lolls back,
Well,
his body's kind of jostling to and fro as the jeep kind of hits these very rough wooded, like forestral roads. But you do see the castle. It is swarming with Nazis now. They are trying to capture the horses that have been released. Excuse me. There's a team that is, you can see them holding some kind of rifle, but there's a leash of lightning that shoots out towards the very large, monstrous boy that you guys saw underneath, that is now kind of rampaging in the courtyard. And after about 6 or 7 shots of this lightning gun, he goes down. And then your vision kind of swivels over, and you do see just these little kind of pinpricks in the darkness of the forest of a village. There is a town hall, beautiful bell tower. It looks like it's being reconstructed to include a clock of some kind. There's a open hole towards the top of this bell tower, but there's a large, proud red flag that you recognize with the white center and the black swastika.
As I'm attuning to my vision, as I'm like looking around and seeing all this lovely propaganda.
Yeah.
Do I see a village town name sign or?
Yes, actually, if you right as your vision is starting to kind of push at its very limits of the successes you pulled, you can just see the name Mühldorf, and immediately there's a moment where, with correspondence and your avatar pushing images at you, you see what looks to be more propaganda and more kind of old touristy kind of documentation from Munich. You get a sense that you're not terribly far from it, but the village of Mühldorf, the town, the small city, is the closest thing that you guys have as far as a safe harbor. Is this where you're going to lead your group?
I'm going to come back to my senses.
Yeah. There's a heady snap as the disassociation of your senses from your body kind of jostles you back, and you have to instinctively kind of grab the seat next to you. You have to grab the dashboard, but you're back.
His knuckles are white as he grabs the seat, behind Grace. Miss. And it's at this point he realizes he never got her name.
Yeah.
Hey, you okay? You okay back there? Wait, are you sitting in the passenger or?
Yeah, passenger.
Yeah, passenger.
Shotgun.
Okay, so I saw him his head go back and all that. So I was there driving, but at the same time with my hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you okay? You okay?
Yeah, he finally snaps to.
Mio deal. Miss.
Yes. Grace. You can call me Grace. You?
Yes, see. Horace.
Horace. Okay.
Town is, and he kind of wipes a direction with a finger. That way. Is Mühldorf? You've heard, yes?
No.
And I never. Can't. Doesn't ring a bell. But
We
it's safe?
should hide there. It's red and black flag, but it's safe. We can hide.
Red and white flag. It's safe. Are you sure?
Safer than the castle.
We either return to the monsters, or we go ahead and...
And as soon as he says that, I'm like, say no more. I'm turning the wheel already in that direction. He pointed, say no more.
Nardi, the car in front of you starts to turn towards a different direction than you've been going, almost like going off-road.
Do you still have the lantern grease at this point? Or did you pass it all?
No, Nardi, Collin's the one that had
I
it.
don't think I ever let it go. I haven't.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, the Irishman has it.
Yeah. You gonna follow, or you gonna...
Who's driving the Jeep? Is it the Irishman, or
yeah,
is
the Irishman?
Or is
It's
it
Collin.
Sophia? Okay, cool. Collin is it. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll ride in the back and just keep an eye out.
Okay.
I'll gesture.
All right. Am I turning with them? I'm gonna go ahead and say that out loud. Am I going with them?
Where are they going?
They've turned off road. I don't know where they're going.
Where are they going?
I guess it looks like they're going into that town over there.
I hope they do, because I don't. So let's go.
Sophia, you can make an intelligence and academics roll. Because you're Polish, so you would have spent some time growing up around Germany. So you might be able to
Russian, right?
you might be able to tell.
No, it's actually both.
It tracks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Jump.
Sure. Before I reach the town,
yeah.
I wanna pull over and stop.
Okay.
So that way to give them a chance to pull over, so maybe we can discuss this before we actually headed to the town.
Oh yeah, you just don't want to go in there guns blazing like typical characters.
No.
Oh,
We're gonna do this the smart way. Come on.
Oh my God, doing all
gonna
these
give
smart things.
I'm gonna give the hand signal for, park or turn. So as they're approaching us, they know to turn in park.
Gotcha. How many did you get?
Well, I got 5 successes.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
So I know exactly where we're at, bitch.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Mühldorf is 25 kilometers east of Munich.
I'm like the bakery in Mühldorf.
Yeah.
These trees and this forest. This is only one place in the world.
Only one place in the world.
That's good.
You remember, as you kind of pull up to the village and you see the signage for it, you remember that Mühldorf is 25 kilometers east of Munich. It is a day trip away, and it is some place that you've spent at least a day with your family here. Definitely remember eating the pastries in one of the bakeries not far from the actual town hall, if you remember correctly.
Fortunate.
I've been here before.
Oh, good.
So, hang a right. That's not something they say in Poland, but I've heard that in American television. Hang a right.
Hang a right. But yeah, you see as you guys park outside, there is a heavy hand of Nazi propaganda. From the town hall, there's a large red flag with the white circle and the black kind of 4-pinned star that you've come to know as a symbol of hate. There are flags, smaller flags in some of the businesses. You can see, if you're going to travel into it, you'll see that there is graffiti, that there have been some homes that have been kind of bombed out, some businesses that have kind of had their windows shattered, and slurs kind of written for whatever Jewish occupants or businessmen kind of owned it at one point. But for right now, you've parked maybe a kilometer away from the town. You've hidden.
Oh yeah, this is a good choice. We'll be safe here, boys.
I'm giving Horace the look, like pointing at the flags, like I'm safe.
It's a great way to waste cloth just to show that you have tiny wiener.
All right. Well, to be fair, we are in Germany, so Safe is a relative term.
Just
Has anyone been here? I only know pizza.
What were you
Which
gonna say,
to your ear will sound like pizza.
Kelly?
hey.
I heard you start to say something.
Oh, sorry, Kelly.
Oh no, it's okay. He was trailing off anyway, so please continue.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you though.
Yeah.
No, all I was gonna say is I've only known pizza, which to your ear sounds like pisser. But he actually means pizza of the town,
Italy.
Italy.
Well, I I haven't been far from home. I've seen parts of Germany, but usually from the air, and generally they're on fire.
Sounds
there-
like a
How
good
about
view.
How about you, scientist?
Well, I know there's a delicious bakery. Well, there once was. Not too far from here. I've spent time here with my family. Many
Oh,
years
that's
ago.
fortunate.
So I
Safe?
might remember some things. Not a lot, but I might remember some things. It was only a day.
Now that everything
not
is
bad.
calmer, there are some of you that kind of hear her accent and realize just how close it is to what you just left.
Can I discern that it's not German, but it's Polish or some derivative?
You could try to make an intelligence and say streetwise. Be difficulty 7.
Oh, we're trying. Single success.
Single success. It's softer than some of the German you've heard. So it might not be like a center heartland German accent, but it might be one of the kind of borderline neighboring countries maybe.
Right.
You are German, ja?
No. I'm from
Then you are-
Warsaw. Poland?
Then you are ally. You are ally.
Ally. Yes.
Horus, as he points to himself.
Well,
Italia.
Ally? Or not ally?
Ally.
Hmm. Italy had a
My-
place in that war.
I. But he's a father, so I am going to go ahead and assume he's not with the Nazis. Are we talking resistance here?
Da. I run a bakery. We
Oh,
sometimes get guests. And he stresses the word guests. Though.
all right, good enough for me. So safe to assume we're all on the same team here.
Safe to assume, yes, but still not sure.
How thick is Grace's accent?
As thick as you've heard.
Accent, yeah,
Oh.
she doesn't sound completely Hispanic, Latina.
Yeah.
She's
There's like
more
Spanish words
American.
here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spanglish. Got it.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Grace, yes.
Grace?
USA. My name is Grace. From the USA.
How did you get over here?
I assume just like everybody, each and every one of you.
Ah, you died.
Yes, padre. This is
Well,
all from
You really
hell.
think that we've died?
Well, I don't know about you, but I was in the middle of a bombing run getting shot at by German fighter planes, so I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Also, I've seen some things today that don't make sense.
No. I was at my bakery when I got some delightful news.
I'm pretty sure this is a dream. So,
Well,
because I fell in my bathroom. So,
I was flying.
And hit your head, didn't you?
I'm probably on the floor right now.
There you go.
and
Dead.
you, big man.
But I doubt I'm dead.
I'll agree to disagree.
And you, big man.
Me? Oh,
Duh.
I'm from New York City. Go Yankees.
Can I tune that to lie?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Another American.
Do you
Another American.
are you-
with a thick accent.
are you trying to be deceptive with your thing, or are you being
no,
cheeky?
yeah. As
Deceptive was
deceptive
funny.
as that sounded, that is
Okay.
like he's just,
Yeah, so you're being cheeky about it. Okay. Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
no need for you to roll to see if he's lying. Like he's being facetious.
We all fail. It's like, oh shit, he is
Oh.
from New York.
Oh, you're from the Bronx?
yeah. No, Queens kid.
Botch your perception.
Give me shield.
You know,
Yeah.
I've never been to America, but they've got some strange accents over there.
Yeah.
It is melting pot.
It is, I was
Like-
gonna say, it is
Yeah.
melting pot.
Yeah.
Right? Help from his thick burro
California.
where he's
Yeah. This is Albany accent.
No, it's upstate Albany. You don't know. We
You
have
don't know.
steamed ham. You want steamed ham?
You don't know. We grow potatoes.
I am
So-
from the north. Yeah.
funny enough
Don't
there.
ask more questions. No.
Red Army, this time of year, da. In this part of the country, da.
Da. Said you like
Entirely in your
Germany?
kitchen, da. Can I see it? Yeah.
Yeah. No. As everybody's talking to each other, you see, Sophia, you see that there are different spirits here. There's no webbing out here. Everything is vibrant. The trees kind of have an ephemeral glow. The jeeps have webbing. Everything that is fabricated, you notice, has the webbing, has the spiders. But nature's wild. The energy is unbridled. It is almost beautiful. There's a kind of coalescence of color. There's a vibrancy to it. The trees look stronger, thicker, livelier, except when you start to look towards the city. You can see that some of the trees in the city have tinges of black in the aura. There's tendrils of darkness that are stretching out from the heart of this city, from the very town hall that you remember as a little girl, kind of sitting on the steps and eating that delicious kind of baked good. And then everything starts to fade again. Back into the periphery. Back into just reliably sitting at the edge of your perception, so that you are aware that it's there. It's always going to be there.
May I ask, Grace, why did you turn into this town?
Horse will raise a large hand. That was me.
Why were you attracted to this town?
You are not going to believe the words that are about to speak. I flew here from my body. So, as Padre says, we all may be dead. I ascended, saw the castle. Those bastards And then, out of a flicker, this town. Though I did see our lovely propaganda machine in full effect. It was like seizure, but not seizure. Clairvoyant, maybe. If you're a religious type.
There's
I'm
definitely
inclined-
there's definitely buildings, not to interrupt you, that are at the edge of the city that might be safe harbors, that might be good to just kind of like hunker down for the night. You've left the cars, the jeep's kind of a kilometer away, so it might bring some snooping scouts towards the city, but you know, Collin did destroy whatever chances they had of following you in the truck. They might follow you on horseback, but that'll definitely be a good distance away as well. And as you guys are kind of standing huddled around these two parked jeeps, kind of for the first time not pressed by some monster, by some soldiers, by anything other than your own self-preservation, Collin suddenly has this premonition, you could say. You see yourselves. You can see the group. It's not the same vision that Horace is talking about. This, you know, intrinsically is going to happen unless you stop it from happening. But you can see that monster standing with its foot pressed hard against Horace's chest, pinning him to the steps of that town hall, blood spurting out of his mouth. You can see him holding Misha, this Russian soldier, in its one meaty hand and just kind of crushing the life out of it. And there's just this dread that this might be a future you can't avoid. Like, there is a pull from you that takes you back to the plane just as you were pulled away, and you see that there's just screaming, there is panic, and no amount of preparedness could save her. And you see the plane just nosedive almost instantly, and you see it just become this fireball against the landscape of what was your California kind of home. Horace is suddenly snapped away to his bakery. His neighbor's daughter is kind of standing there, eagerly awaiting the opening. It is morning. It is early morning. Your neighbor kind of goes up to look in on you. You should be already baking the morning bread, the pastries. Yet you're nowhere to be found. Mikhail sees the rolling of dice, the chess pieces on a board, pawns being sacrificed, a knight eating a bishop, and everything resets itself. And again, the pawns start to step forward, the knight is let loose, the bishop shoots forward, everything starts to play out exactly how you saw the first time. And once that bishop is eaten, the game resets. And then Sophia just suddenly gets bombarded by all these thoughts, all these desires for change, for something that isn't this. There's an entire town that is being oppressed by this Nazi war machine, and the majority of them want to have this harness removed, this yoke broken, and they sit in the shadow of this professor's castle, this Nazi monster that makes other monsters, and everyone just is crying out for help. And this is where we come to a close today. And I'd like to thank all of you for participating in this one shot and making it magical, pun intended. And so, in the same order that we did it before, please go ahead and take a moment for all of you to plug whatever you want to plug, your own channels, your own games, and we'll start with MIDI.
Yes, as stated before, I am Mitwad, and usually on Saturday evenings I will be playing the lovable Malkavian Mr. Ezekiel White. However, that shall return in about 2 weeks or so, and that is on Sylvanov's channel, found in the friend stream portion of the Mixtaber Studios Discord.
Yep, good people over there. Kelly,
Very good people.
over at DuckTales.
Hey, how's it going? I've been Kelly over at Dorktales. You can find us on twitch.tv/Dorktales or youtube.com/Dorktales, as well as on most podcast providers. You can find some of our stuff. Tonight, I am running our homebrew D&D game, The Secret of Hexeter House, which is kind of like a steampunk murder mystery type of game.
Yep.
But we're in the middle of a game sprint right now, where I'm doing like 13 nights of streaming in a row before I go on vacation to get it out of my system and try to kill some games.
Yeah,
Finally, so
wild man.
It's not. I'm nuts. But if you have the time, I would absolutely adore it if you could come by Dorktales tomorrow from 2 to 6 Pacific, or for those of you in Eastern time, that's I guess 5 to 9, 5 to 5 to 9, because we are running a special charity stream for WAVA, which is a rape crisis center in Vancouver.
Yes.
We're trying to raise some very important funds for some people who need as much assistance as we can give, and it's going to be a hilarious game ran by my friend Bunny Hearted.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll come over and watch.
I definitely hope that people do go there and help out. It's definitely a good cause, and Bunny Hearted is definitely one of those people that I only saw a little bit of them during your whole weekend expo thing, but they definitely sound like they're good people. So
they're wonderful. One of my best friends.
Yeah.
Fantastic person, and a good game master too. So you'll have a lot of fun.
Nice. Ashley, Baby Lambs.
Yeah, so I've been Ashley, half of Baby Lambs. You can find the Baby Lambs podcast on Anchor. You can find it on most other, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, that's where we are. We actually will be twitching tomorrow. We'll be streaming live tomorrow as we conclude this this 4th season of Hunt a Killer. We're finally going to figure out who the killer is. And we will be doing that at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can hop from here, you can hop into Dorktales, you can go back and forth, whatever you like. If you're curious about where we're at, it should be a lot of fun. Or you can catch me every other Monday with Chewy on this channel, playing Vampire the Masquerade. I am Connie Eastworm.
Yeah, our V5 game set in Salem, Oregon in 1984. Cool. Is Sasha going to be part of this again? Or are you retiring the great detective that she is?
I think it's just going to be me and Lisette this time.
Okay. Nardi.
I don't really have anything to plug, but if you're ever in the need for an eye exam and you're in the Coral Gables area, please look me up. But I do want to say, Mage is one of my favorite games, and I'm really happy that you included me in this. I love the combination of just this infinite power, the creativity of how you use that power, but also you're just restricted from using it in such a dramatic way. It's great. So I think this RPG is like everything that is good about RPGs. You really have to just use every creative outlet you can think of. Just brainstorm ways, because there's no spell book. So it's like, oh, I cast a fireball.
Yeah.
That it's great. I love it. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I hope you had a good time. I
I
hope
did,
that
man, it was
I could pull you away from your fatherly duties for just enough.
Yeah, you did.
That your wife doesn't hate
I had
me.
to get up a couple times
Yeah.
during the stream. So
Yeah.
But it was a nice escape.
I wanted enough time that I could justify your wife not hating me.
Well, we can't guarantee that, but
Okay.
but it was good.
And
she
last but
was
not
perfectly okay with it.
least, my partner in crime, as far as our comic book is concerned, Ike. Please let the people know where they can find you and your magnificent artwork.
I'm on iketune.deviantart.com.
No.
I haven't updated any of that. That's pretty old stuff. But yeah, you can check out some of my artwork there. You can also catch me playing Flid, Drilled, every Friday, Star Wars Out of the Dark with Chewie at the helm. And thanks for having me, man. This was my first time playing Mage. I loved it. I love playing with all these new faces here.
Yeah, thank you.
Playing with my boy Nardi again, who I haven't seen.
Hopefully, we'll do it in person one day.
Yeah.
Good old, like the good old days. I loved it. I love playing Grace. I love playing with all you guys. Hopefully, this wasn't a one shot. So
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I want to see what happens to Horus. I want to see.
Yeah. Right.
If we can save those poor people in that castle, like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's as much.
I just don't want to see that humanoid baby again.
Yeah, it's.
I know that destroyed me.
I'm down, but I don't want to. I know we'll have to see that.
Well,
humanoid
if
baby.
you've ever played a Will game, you know.
Oh, I know.
He's coming.
You can look. Someone with time magic
come in
just
my nightmares.
pull a baby Ruth back from the future, and we got this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
If
But
I do
yeah.
have a second, there is.
It's a little vulgar, but we can do it. Yeah.
We can do it. We can do it. It's a little vulgar.
It's a little vulgar. Yeah, our Star Wars game takes place 70 years before the Battle of Yavin, so right during the fall of the Jedi. It has gotten dark. It has gotten to a dark place, and I am very thankful that the group of people that I have trusted me with telling the story. But thank you guys again for participating in this. I appreciate all of you. As always, how we end the stream, I like to please remind you to wear your masks, wash your hands, keep your distance, and help each other, because there's nobody else that we can rely on. And mental health is part of our general health, so please, if you're feeling like things are overwhelming, reach out. Call a friend, call a family member. And if you are a friend or family member of somebody who is usually a strong personality, please check in on them. A little hi or a how are you goes a long way. And general health, mental health should not be stigmatized, and it should not be a shameful thing to seek help. And usually if you need to reach out and we're in chat, we will stick around after the stream to kind of talk things out if you really need it. But thank you once again to everybody for participating. Thank you for Mitt from Sylvanov's channel. Thank you for Kelly for Dork Tales. And we will see you on Monday for Salem by Night, or Wednesday for our Legend of the Five Rings game, or even on Friday when we go back to Bespin and Star Wars Out in the Dark. Be safe, everybody, and have a good day.